Talking on eggshells is how to think on our feet, give and get respect, and how to keep our cool in the heat of the moment. Most importantly, it's that words have ripple effects for better or for worse, and it's how to use our words that help instead of hurt. A quick example. I'm visiting my son, Andrew, in New York, and his son, Hero, who's 1 year old, is crawling across the floor. He pulls himself up on a guitar stand and starts pounding on the strings. Now, Andrew could have said no, and he could have said, leave it alone. He could have yanked the guitar away. Do you know what he did instead? He said one word, gentle. And in that moment, I saw Hero's face transform, and he started strum, strum, strum. He reached up to some bells on the window and went ring, ring, ring. And he made music in that moment because Andrew used a word that shaped his behavior instead of shamed his behavior. That's what Talking on Eggshells teaches people how to do.
You say we can learn to think on our feet in the moment and respond. How exactly does one go about that?
One of the ideas that Talking on Eggshells introduces is what I call interpersonal social awareness. Now, we've heard of situational awareness. Social awareness are the social skills that we wish we'd learned back in school. So with situational awareness, before we blurt, because when we blurt, people get hurt, we ask ourselves, is this true? Is this helpful? Is this in integrity? Is this necessary? And is this kind? And if it's not, we put a sock in it. Instead, we read the room. What would be appropriate? What would be welcome? What would be good timing? What would be additive? And it helps us read the room and lead the room because we're practicing this new concept of interpersonal situational awareness.
Your book identifies a three-letter word that damages more relationships than any other word in the English language. What's the word and what can we say instead?
All right, now let's listen to this and imagine being on the receiving end of it. I hear what you're saying, but we can't do it because I'm sorry that happened, but it's not my fault. You did a good job on that, but you forgot. Do you hear how that little word, but, actually cancels out what was said before it? It makes it an either or, right, wrong conversation. It pits us as adversaries, and it is at the core of almost every disagreement. From now on, replace the word but with the three-letter word and. I hear what you're saying, and do you have any ideas on how we can move that forward? I'm sorry that happened, and thank you for bringing it to my attention. You did a good job on that. And could you please add a paragraph? Do you hear how the word and acknowledges what's being said instead of arguing with it? Understand, it doesn't have to agree with it. It just doesn't argue it. It acknowledges it, so it advances conversations instead of anchoring them in a disagreement.
What do you most hope readers will take away from your book?
What I hope readers take away from the book are actually two quotes and two action steps. Elvis said, when things go wrong, don't go with them. As a result of this book, you'll know that when things go wrong, instead of going with them, you know how to make them right. You know how to find solutions instead of find fault. You know how to focus on what we do want instead of what we don't. And the second quote is from Mother Teresa. She said, the world is full of good people. If you can't find one, be one. And Talking on Eggshells is how to be the quality of person we want, even when other people aren't. It's how to keep our cool in the moment. It is how to go first and set an example of empathy and compassion. Because when we do that, most people are motivated to respond in kind.